It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag Utah Jazz.
Obviously, we need high-level players who can do multiple things. We've been struggling on defense, so that's a priority for us in everyday individual workouts, every day in practice, and can guard, doesn't hurt you. It's a responsibility for all of us that's in the building right now and kind of getting better at it, and so that's how we look at it.
The Utah Jazz, worst in the league in defense. How can they improve those numbers? Walker Kessler coming back next year would obviously help. However, first, PK.
Will Chamberlain.
Will Chamberlain would also help, yes.
Yeah.
Will Chamberlain's not walking through that door. In the meantime, how about staying between your man and the basket? That'd help a little bit.
Well, how about showing up? I mean, Yak tweets out last night a healthy contingent of the Jazz players were going to get the BYU game. No, they weren't. One was going to be illness. The other was going to be rest. The other was going to be this, that. How come this team gets sick a lot? How come the statues didn't get sick? How come Thurl didn't get sick? How come Mark Eden didn't get sick? These guys get sick a lot.
Because they didn't trade away a draft pick, possibly, and then try to save it.
We got all this fancy travel and 42 conditioning and strength coaches and trainers.
And yet,
they're sick.
Yusuf Nurkic doubtful.
Every time you turn around, somebody's got a cold.
Illness.
Thank goodness.
Maybe it's food poisoning.
Well,
maybe he ate some questionable cheese or meat.
No, well, you know what? The door is open, and there's a draft coming in.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, in June.
Oh.
I knew you didn't get it right off the bat.
Good to have you back, PK. No, you move way too quick for me. You got to slow things down.
There's a draft coming in June. It's creating some illnesses.
I got to look at the film of this show to know what really happened.
That's the deal, that draft. Getting a little breezy in here.
And it is blowing away Lauri Markkanen, Yusuf Nurkic, and Keontae George as the Jazz host the Clippers tonight at the Delta Center. Keontae's out to rest.
When you're 22 and haven't played in 3 days, you're gassed.
Exactly. And Lauri Markkanen is questionable. He's questionable. The NBA Rising Stars Challenge roster is out. Ace Bailey not named. So, no part of All-Star Weekend for him.
That's a travesty.
Much frustration for a certain segment of Jazz fans who really like a little validation in that area.
Oh, there's validation there. He's going to be a player. As I told you last week, you combine George with Bailey, and you got a wonderful life.
There it is. KSL Sports Zone tonight, 7 o'clock for the Jazz pregame. Game tips off at 8 o'clock, late start for the national broadcast tonight. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
All right, time for your daily NBA injury update. It's the Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo this time. Bucks not setting a timeline. He's dealing with a calf strain again. Told the media he'd probably miss 4 to 6 weeks initially after being injured. Bucks, no timeline. We'll see if it's longer than that. He was out with a calf injury in December, and now he's out again here in late January. Other things for All-Star Weekend. Mac McClung, NBA dunk contest reigning champ, will not defend his title. I hope you'll still lock into All-Star Saturday despite the absence of Mac McClung.
You do?
Sure.
You're going to be disappointed then.
Yeah, we'll watch some college hoops. Luka Doncic, 46 points and 12 assists, leading the Lakers past the Bulls. 129 to 118. He had it going on as he often does. Hornets continue to pull away from the Jazz. They beat the Sixers 130 to 93. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
I mean, it's a two option play. And so they did a good job of taking the first option away. Rob got the ball, within 2 feet of the basket, and felt pretty good about that. Probably a little bit more time on the clock. They collapsed. Maybe could have found something, but, Rob's a gamer. We saw it at the Garden. I trust him in those moments. Quite frankly, him and AJ, neither one of them really had it going, but those are our guys. We're going to ride and die with them. So, like I said, the first option was to get AJ the ball. They clogged the area we were trying to get it to. And then, we got the ball in Rob's hands to make a play.
BYU loses to Arizona 86-83. A.J. DeBonsa did not have it going, 6 of 24 from the floor, and Rob Wright III, 3 of 16. Not what they were looking for out of those guys. Some other guys did come through, and that was a heck of a rally, and much rather lose by 3 than the 19 points they were down there in the middle of the second half. That would have been a major blemish on the old NCAA tournament resume for what they're trying to acquire and what they're trying to do and where they're trying to be seated. So, 3-point loss to the undefeated number ones. Probably won't raise too many eyebrows.
They lost the game. What do you got, moral victories here now? I mean, great. They didn't lose by as much as they could have. And the referees, man, they had some serious adrenaline on that offensive foul call. Do you think they make that in McHale?
Absolutely.
He steps back and violently points in the direction of the students.
If they have armed guards and an escort out of the arena.
That was awesome, man. He was so fired up. Remind me of that time we got pulled over when we were going out to Tooele, and I didn't move over the lane. You remember that cop?
Yeah, man?
He was so fired up, man, when he pulled us over.
He was.
I was laughing. That was great. That's some serious home cooking. And he's Kevin Young is right. He's going to ride or die with those two guys. And you notice it. And he said, "Well, you saw what he did at the Garden." Yeah, what he did at the Garden. The kid can't finish around the basket in traffic. He's too small.
There it is.
And what did we see at the Garden? We saw a three-pointer. He's a gamer. But he's just too small.
He got inside. He had to wait for the guy who was defending him, kind of his momentum carried him out of bounds to give him a little shot. But by then, somebody on the other side of the court who's defending the three-point shooter on the far sideline sees what's happening and runs over and blocks the shot from behind.
He is a gamer. I agree. I love having the ball in his hands. But in traffic, he's just too small. And there's just no way. Tommy Lloyd would have gone out and Latrell spree-rolled the referee if they called a foul on that one after they had just done a jump ball. And the way the emphatic, could you calm down the emotion a little bit, referees here?
No, they're feeling the crowd. They're feeling the crowd.
It's Tony Padilla, man. Come on.
They're just caught up in the whole situation.
I did think it was good that both coaches, they had questions that led them there, but they both backed off. Because if Tommy Lloyd goes nuts, it's like, well, you shot 32 free throws to their 19 at home.
Yeah.
And Keita had a big block. He was mad because he got stripped at the other end. And he came like a freight train to the other end. They called a foul on that. Pretty iffy, and the crowd was going nuts. And I thought Saunders' third or fourth, I think it was his fourth foul, there wasn't much there. But it's like you always love to say, that stuff happens. And over the course of the game, it probably happens to lots of different players.
Yeah, I think BYU is going to have a problem throughout the season consistently of outshooting teams from the free throw line because they don't have any inside game. And DeBonsa, I know you're on TV. I know you're battling for the number one pick and all that. Man, you got to take some better shots.
Some forced?
Yeah.
Feeling it.
Yeah, and it wasn't there. What was he, 6 of something?
6 of 24 and 1 of 8 from 3.
But I appreciate their effort and their desire. All that stuff was there. There was no question about it. They're just a little outmanned. They don't have as much talent as Arizona does.
Right. Arizona was 7 guys averaging in double figures. Yeah. And BYU, it's 3 guys who are going to carry the load. Now, Kennard Davis Jr.
Good for him.
Couldn't hit a 3 in the first half. Couldn't miss in the second half. That was something.
It's a law of numbers.
He finished with 17 points and was 5 of 8 from 3.
Yeah, and he picked up the slack. And
Saunders,
they're going to need that.
Saunders shot it well, and Davis shot it well.
And then some other foreign kid that I haven't seen play in a good while. He came in and hit a couple of buckets. They need every little thing that they can get there.
Mm-hmm.
They're short of big guys. It seems like they got a whole bunch of 6'7" guys who can run and jump and do those things, but they don't have enough skill inside. Arizona does. It's Koa Pete. He's from Phoenix. I've heard about him for 5 years now. His brother was an offensive lineman for the Devils and then transferred down to Tucson. So he comes from an athletic family. They just have more talent. To me, this is going to be a fun run. But I think it's going to end up in the manner of Texas Tech football. You spent millions, and you got some holes, so you're going to end in a disappointment. But you're going to have a fun run along the way.
I can see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't anticipate them winning at all. When you see what Arizona's doing, you see what Michigan is doing, it does seem like there's teams with another gear out there. And so when do you draw them? Is it round of 16? Is it Elite 8? How does that work out? Which is impossible to know because however it's seeded, there could still be upsets along the way.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And they did have 2 injuries, I think, that they were counting on, but those are perimeter guys. They need some more bulk.
They need the guys in the
They only have 2 guys.
They need more guys in the 6'10" to 7'1" range.
And are bulky.
Yep.
I mean, DeBonsa, that's not going to be his game. So, but it doesnn't mean they're not going to have a good season. They are. And they got Arizona in a couple weeks down there. So
they do.
Happens.
I love the post-game questions to Lloyd. He's going with I don't really want to get into that. I'm like, well, yeah, they play again in 3 weeks. Why did you do that?
He doesn't want to go public with it.
I'm not going to tell you that. Come on. All right, DJ and PK.
#NFL.
Former NFL quarterback Phillip Rivers removed his name from consideration for the Bills' head coaching position that he had interviewed for. He'd never coached at the college or pro level, only at the high school level. So he takes his name out. Now, PK, you have covered a lot of coaching searches. When you hear that someone is taking their name out of consideration, don't you usually think they know they're not going to get it? They also probably know who is going to get it, so we're probably 24 to 48 hours away from finding out.
Yeah, I don't think that they were going to hire a high school coach. Just don't see that. I don't care how great of a player you were. But the original Hammer, he's not enthralled with Mike McCarthy to Pittsburgh. You know who the original Hammer is?
Fred Williamson.
Nice. Outstanding work by you. I happen to have this past weekend a conversation with Fred Williamson.
Get out! Are you serious? That is awesome. Honestly, I know very little about that guy, but my dad's generation does, and I heard about him. Oh, that was a great nickname, the Hammer.
He's 87 years old.
He'd have to be, right? He played for Kansas City in the first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So he'd have to be way up there. I had no idea he was even alive.
He is alive.
And honestly, I wouldn't know him if I saw him, but I know the name because my dad talked about him. So.
Yeah.
All right. So why did you talk to Fred Williamson, former NFL player, is now 87 years old, and was in his time a feared defensive back, and the Hammer because he probably gave people concussions with hits that would draw flags today and get him ejected, but nonetheless.
Yes, he was into movies. He did a little broadcasting.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he did movies with Jim Brown. That's where I remember him.
Okay.
Not as a player. There's a place in Palm Springs, up the canyon a little bit, and it's called it's Indian Canyon, and it's north and a south course, and the north course is the original one, and it used to be private for the likes of Dean Martin, Frank, those types.
Right, your celebs, your high-end celebs.
Yeah, and it's just gorgeous. The picture that I sent you was the south course, and they're right next to each other. I mean, it's a street divides them. So I'm on the north course, the older one, the original one, and we're teeing off like on the third or fourth hole. And the guy that I'm with is a character, and he looks like he can be part of the Rat Pack himself. He's an older guy. He said, "You see that guy over there, standing on over by the houses?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "That's the Hammer."
Huh.
So he's just standing out, and there's a little backyard adjacent to course, and he's chipping some balls. And so my wife hits one over there, and I go over, and hey, how's it going, man? Yeah, good. And he's obviously still with it, very much so. And so she says to him, "Hey, could you give me some lessons?" He says, "No, man, I got to watch you. I'm going to learn how to do this." You know, he's got personality. And so, okay, it's on. And so then I start talking to him, and he's very glib.
Yeah.
And I said, what do you think of McCarthy? Did you see that the Steelers hired McCarthy? Yeah, I know that.
Nice.
That's about attitude, man. The attitude isn't working. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care who they hire as coach. They need to change their attitude. And he's just going to town, man.
Nice.
So it was fun.
I had no idea when I threw that out there that I'd unlocked all of this.
Yeah. It was fun to talk to the original Hammer, Fred Williamson. Look him up. He was highly accomplished.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's big time.
And he's still going. He's 87 years old.
That was my dad had Charger season tickets back in that era with my grandpa and my uncle, and the three of them would go to games all the time. And Fred Williamson, but before my time,
I had no idea they called him a Hammer, but But I looked it up.
Yep.
On the next hole, I quickly Googled him and said, "Wow, this guy's." I recognized the name and I recognized his face.
Yeah. Yeah, one of those shows. I don't know if he played when they won the Super Bowl a few years later, or if that was right at the end of his career. I don't know.
He had a Raiders jacket on.
What? He was a Chief, and in that era, they hated each other.
He had a Raiders jacket on.
Had a big old brawl years later.
Looked it up. He was a 3-time All-AFL player for the Raiders, then moved to the Chiefs.
Oh, so he's with the Raiders first. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, then, okay, go ahead and wear the Raiders gear. I did not know that. He played for both those. That's funny, changing sides of that back in the day when they were button heads. All right, so anyway, all that digresses the original Hammer, not Fred Williamson. Are we talking Wilner, or you got another Hammer?
No, he is the original.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. He's the original Hammer.
Okay. The NFL has tapped Browns quarterback Shadur Sanders to be the replacement for the Patriots quarterback Drake May in the Pro Bowl games, drawing scrutiny as to why he was the replacement pick. The answer to all your questions is money. Eyeballs. I mean, please. He's a lightning rod. People will watch him and they'll talk about him. Played 8 games. He's a Pro Bowler, huh? 8 games mopping up.
I didn't realize they played the Pro Bowl. I thought they
they do that. They name him to the Pro Bowl, but it's not actually a game. It's like a bunch of events. I don't know. They'll put a tire in a truck and drive it across the field 40 yards downfield and throw a ball through it. I mean, it's stuff like that. They reinvent it every year. I don't know. It's more like a skills competition.
They have a flag
They have a flag game. Yeah. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
The University of Utah names Joe D'Orazio as their new general manager, replacing longtime GM Robert Blecken, who's expected to join Kyle Whittingham's staff at Michigan. Joe D'Orazio was a GA at Utah in 2012-13. He has moved all around the country, most recently at USC. He's the kind of guy who, I think now, if we're not in the building at 5:30, PK, it's hard to assess how good they are or aren't or what they're doing, and yet it does seem like a job they better be good at it. If you're not good at it, you're going to end up having a problem.
Well, I'll assess how good they are on Saturdays.
Okay. Yak, you got some breaking news, you say. What just happened?
So Duke quarterback Darian Mensah, who's been in a litigation battle with Duke, they've settled that, and he will be able to enroll elsewhere, which is expected to be the Miami Hurricanes.
So write a check and you can go. There it is. Week after the Big 12 announced the championship game was moving to Friday night, the ACC championship game will be played in the Saturday morning slot the Big 12 had been occupying. So they've got the 4 Power League championship games now in 4 different TV windows. The ACC had been going head-to-head in prime time with the Big Ten, so they moved that. NCAA will be re-examining the targeting rule this offseason, and particularly examining the penalty associated with the targeting call. The rule will not be taken out of the rule book, but the ejection and associated suspension, if it happens in the second half of a game, could be subject to change.
Well, I've been screaming for that for years.
Yep, I thought you'd be happy when I saw that headline. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Team Japan's World Baseball Classic roster has been set. You will not be shocked to learn that Shohei Ohtani is the biggest name on the roster. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto will join him. Although fellow Dodger Hiroki Sasaki will not participate in the WBC. So they'll have a mix of players playing here in the U.S. and then players playing in Japan. We'll see how loaded their team is and how it does. How long till the WBC? You got that? You got that on your calendar? Got that set?
Well, it's in March, middle of March. I mean, spring training starts in 2 weeks with pitchers and catchers, and then a few days later. They moved it up a week or so with this thing going on. So, yeah.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag NHL.
Really happy about our 5-on-5 play, and same defensively. It's a team who lead the league in about everything offensively, and we did a really good job. Unfortunately, too many timely penalties. Not just we got in the box, it's the timing of when we got in the box, and I think that cost us the game.
The Utah Mammoth go to Tampa Bay and lose to the Lightning 2-0. They get shut out So that ends their string of 9 straight games with points. Both the goals for Tampa came on the power play, and that ends up being the difference in the game. They were 2 for 4 on the power play, and the Mammoth were 0 for 3. Mammoth are right back at it tonight. They'll be in Sunrise, Florida, take on the Florida Panthers. Puck drops at 5. Hockey night in Utah starts at 4 here on The Zone. Coming up, we'll talk with Mike Folta about that. Utah Mammoth radio voice will join us at 8 o'clock. And Mark Durant, BYU basketball radio analyst, talk about last night's game and where the Cougars go from here. That's coming up at 9 o'clock. It's also a Jazz Ticket Tuesday. We got a pair of tickets to watch the Jazz take on Egor Demin. No. Egor Dielman and the Brooklyn Nets Friday night at the Delta Center. That's coming up at 8:30 and 9:30. So stick around for that. The question of the day is next. Don't miss your chance to win big every week on the KSL Sports Zone. This week, win tickets to see Pro Bowl riders unleash the Beast Tour at the Delta Center on February 6th. Get your tickets today at SeatGeek.com or listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win. Despite a frantic comeback, BYU loses to Arizona. What's your view? A great rally or just another loss to a ranked team? Chris, great comeback. Gotta try and get the offense in a better flow. Too much ISO ball. I'm going to hold the ball, look at you, and try to take you one-on-one. Not the first time we've seen that. They're so talented. It has worked in other games, but didn't work against Arizona.
Yeah, I think that you felt, you could feel DeBonsa feeling like, okay, this is my moment.
I'm supposed to take over now.
Yeah, and I'm going to go nuts. And, you did it against Utah, but no offense, Utah's not Arizona right now, and hopefully Alex can get that thing going. And so it's easier, and you hit some shots, and it was a front running, and the crowd was going nuts. And here, the game was slipping away, the crowd was on edge, and you were almost to the point of trying too hard. You were squeezing the bat.
Yes, I like that analogy.
A little bit too much.
Right.
And you were forcing the action.
I thought they came out in the second half knowing, hey, we got to make a run here, and okay, this is the time to get the crowd, and they hit a shot, and they get a stop, and they hit a shot. But, man, then Arizona just, the spine stiffens, and they score in a couple possessions. I thought they had a pretty tough shot in there. It's like all the air went out of the crowd in BYU.
Right. The situation, big Monday, no other games, no one's watching the NBA.
It was you, front and center.
Yeah, no NFL.
You're not tucked away on ESPN2 or FS1. You're on the big dog.
Right.
Prime time in the East.
Yeah, and it was going to be their lead story after the game, and they were leading up to it, all that, watching the Duke-Louisville game, all that, halftime, that's what they were talking about. And so it was a big deal. It was, and I think that for Arizona, now they got a lot of freshmen, but I think as a program, Arizona's used to being on that stage. And they're 21-0, tied their best start, I think 2013-14 they did it. BYU's sort of a new kid here, at home, pressure to win. You coming off, I realize it's not the very last game, but the last time you played a ranked team, you tripped over yourself down the stretch in Lubbock. So you put all that stuff together, and I think it created an undue amount of pressure. And you could feel it. The comeback would have been one for the ages if they were to pull it off. I mean, when they got the ball with only down one, I was like, oh, my gosh, let's do this.
I know, right?
It would have just been an unbelievable story. Rob Wright, he's too small to be going into the basket like that against that level of competition, which has all sorts of, the Arizona's got 7'2" guys and their guards, Burries, I think, who blocked the shot. He's 6'4". Wright is generously listed at 6'1". And so you put all that stuff in there, and I think it was just too much for BYU. BYU is an extremely flawed team, as are most teams, but we're talking about our team that we cover here.
And we're holding them up against the standard of Final Four.
Yeah, and that's what they said. DeBonsa, he was interviewed over the summer at the Summer League, and he said, it's we want to win it, go to the final, and that's their goal. And I got nothing wrong with having that goal. Set the goal as high as you can, and maybe they can pull it off. But I think under the circumstances that it was just too much for them in the moment. Now, they still have 6-7 weeks before the tournament starts. So you have an opportunity to do something. I mean, he's going to have to develop the bench. We can sit here and say, oh, well, Pickens and Baker are out, woe is us. Or you can develop the bench. What's it going to be?
Well, in my world, you just sit around and moan and complain. But I suppose with the millions he's getting, it would be better if he developed the bench.
Yeah. And so this Costy kid
and
came in, hit a couple of threes.
Yeah, and players improve over the course of the season.
Yeah.
And it's one, you don't have to develop a star here. You need to find someone who's got one or two skills. A big guy who could provide a little toughness, maybe somebody who plays a little bigger than they are.
I don't think they have anybody.
Okay.
I think that's
then
a
they
deficiency in their roster.
find a three-point shooter, so when defenses are collapsing on the stars, your feet are set, you can catch the ball and hit a shot.
Right, but they're always going to lack underneath. That's where the roster's flawed because Pickens and Baker aren't those types of players. They could have been the greatest bench players of all time.
But they weren't going to be Keita's guys. Right, yeah.
Keita and Ahmed, he fouls out in 10 minutes.
Yep.
10 minutes. That's not good enough. And you didn't get him until the middle of the season. You should have known when you're putting this roster together that you need another big guy. And the Kozlowski kid, he's tall, but he's a perimeter guy. And then I realize he's out. But you lack, the roster construction has a gaping hole.
Where a big physical guy should go.
Yeah. And Keita, who doesn't love the kid? The kid's motor is incredible. He's limited. But whatever he's got, he's giving it to you every single game.
Well, he was big in that final minute. He had an offensive rebound and put back bucket, and they ran a pick and roll, and he got an alley-oop dunk.
Right.
Which is about what you expect out of him, and where his 4, 6, or 8 points.
No complaints.
And he had 6 in the game,
He's giving you everything he has. But they need another big guy. And they knew Foose was graduating. Foose was a kid who was a little on the smaller side for the position he played. But, he could go over the left shoulder and put something up. And I wonder why Young didn't go after another big guy. Not enough money left or what?
I don't know.
I mean, if you're not going to be outbid, go get me another big guy. And they had to get this kid out of the G League here, and he's limited himself. You can't.
And this is what you have. And
you can't really get another big guy who's going to be dominant. I don't know. It's DeBonza saying, "Hey, wait a second. You owe me development to get me ready for the NBA." That was the deal.
Yes, but it's about having another Keita-ish player.
Minimally. But that's what I'm saying. You're not going to get a big dude who you're going to dump the ball into him time after time. Because
the touches are going to go to the other 3 guys, especially DeBonza.
Right. DeBonza, you're going to have to live with DeBonza jacking it up. Because dad and son, that's part of the deal. And Dad is right there every game.
Every game, yes. Right. They're always showing him on TV.
Right. And so he's going to get the FGAs. That you sold, it sounds dramatic, but you basically sold your soul.
This is what you signed up for.
For him getting FGAs.
Okay, sold your soul.
Right.
And now I feel like we're in some
it's
literary
dramatic.
masterpiece.
It's dramatic.
But when
that's
you
the
get
commitment you made
when you get a player of his
him.
ability, yes, he's going to get shots. And he had 24 shots and he had 16 free throws. So you can tell how much he's going to have the ball in his hands.
Right.
But you don't get somebody like that to play him off the ball a lot.
No. I mean,
the shot distribution.
You're not going to take him out if he takes a bad shot.
Right. The shot distribution, 11 for Saunders, 16 for Wright, and 24 for DeBonza, not that far off. You just want better productivity, more efficiency. You want to make more shots. And the other guys are there, when you're open. Boscovich, 2 of 5, 1 of 4 from 3. That's what I expect. Davis was hot, obviously. But I wouldn't expect him to get more than I wouldn't expect him to get more than 9 shots.
Do I really need DeBonza to shoot 8 threes? He's not a 3-point shooter.
No.
But yet the point I'm making is you can't take him out because that's a bad shot.
No.
Because you signed on with Pops that he's going to fire away whenever he sees fit.
And also, you're not going to beat Arizona without him. You can sit him on the bench
Right,
if you
but
want. You're going to lose the game.
But you could, but you're not going to do that.
You're not.
But you could tell him to take better shots. But it's almost like his game is untouchable.
Well, he took lots of other shots. I mean, that's why he gets to shoot 16 free throws, and he took 16 twos. I mean, he's just going to get a lot of touches and take a lot of shots. Now, you could say within the game. The other thing, though, is he's so good in high school. Maybe in some of these international teams, they talk about but I don't even know
he played high school.
I know, exactly. So when's he been in an arena with this many people and the adrenaline pumping and they're behind and there are expectations that aren't being met?
Well,
I don't think he's been in that very often.
These guys have.
Huh? So we'll see if he handles it better next time.
But the point I'm making is somebody else you can get in his face. I don't think, and he's going to hear about this, I know, because he's heard about stuff that I said and he comes back at me. But I don't think he can really.
But if he goes to the hoop,
criticize him for taking shots. It's like he's untouchable.
He is. You can tell him to go to the hoop.
Sure, but the implication is don't jack up another brick three.
Yeah.
And he can't do that. He can't.
That's why you don't say it as a negative. You say it as a positive because you can say the positives, and that's why Will Hardy talks the way he talks.
And the implication is, as I just said, don't jack up another brick from three.
But don't say that. Tell him to go to the hoop.
But it doesn't matter what you say. It's
I think you can tell him to go to the hoop.
Behind the saying.
Go to the
Everybody
hoop.
can figure it out. I don't know that Young can really critique this guy. He can take him in the film room, but during the game, when you brought in this kid, and now you got this Branch kid who's a 5-star there. These kids are one and dones, and sure, they want to win at the college level. I'm not questioning anybody's desire to win, but nevertheless, this is about developing the game for the NBA. That's the program that they set up. And in the NBA, you take threes.
Yep.
And can he really say, don't take that shot?
No. He has to say. He's got to say it as PK. So, what you have to coach these guys now? You can't say it as a negative. You got to say it as a positive.
No. Did you watch the earlier game when the Louisville coach, a little dude, got in the face of the dude who didn't get the rebound? You can't coach DeBonsa like that.
I agree. That's why I'm saying you can't say the negative.
But yet he did. The Louisville guy did.
That meltdown, and how'd that work?
Well, they were not as good as Duke at their home floor. The point is, you have to treat DeBonsa with the kid gloves because that's the deal you arranged.
Yep.
We graced you with our presence.
We could have gone to Duke easily in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Or a bunch of other schools,
too. You think Majerus could have coached DeBonsa like that?
I would have loved to see that. See how that worked out.
It wouldn't have.
It would not have. You're right.
So he has free reign to do what he wants. You just have to hope what he does is the right thing.
Well, they're 17-3, and they've been riding him.
6 of 24.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean 17.
And 1 of 8.
They can beat Arizona State. They can beat Utah.
But when they play the Arizonas and the Michigan and Texas Tech,
they're 0-3, aren't they?
Texas Tech, Connecticut, and Arizona now.
Yeah, have they played any other ranked teams?
Is Wisconsin ranked? I don't follow the rankings in college basketball, so it gets hard for me to answer. Wisconsin's been on a tear lately. I don't know if it's gotten them ranked. But to your point, there it is.
And the good thing is there's plenty of time. It's one game. Don't go crazy here. But, in conference, they played 2 ranked teams, and they lost 2 out of the 3.
Wisconsin's not ranked. Clemson is, though. So they beat Clemson.
Good.
Clemson's 22.
That was a great win. And then that was Rob Wright hitting a 3, not going to the basket.
Yep. And we do have people. Well, we can get into it next. We got people.
Let's do it. Yeah,
we got 2 people with completely opposite takes. 2 Cougar fans who saw the game completely differently. Maybe they're sitting on different sides of the arena. We'll get to that next. Stay with us.
Whirls around and down. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone is your exclusive home of the Utah Jazz. And we want to send you to the Delta Center to see the Jazz in action. Listen every Tuesday for the Jazz Ticket Tuesday Sounder at 30 past the hour, every hour, all day long. And if you're caller number 12, you'll be on your way to an upcoming game.
Buy one, you'll get one free.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, every Tuesday throughout the NBA season on your radio home for the Utah Jazz. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Why did BYU lose to Arizona? What went wrong? There were many things. We were just talking about A.J. DeBonsa, 6 of 24, and 1 of 8 from 3. There were multiple takes here. Joshua should have won. Got to work on the last plays of the game. Meanwhile, JD, honestly, need to figure out how not to fall behind by large amounts. It's way too hard to overcome these deficits. They're a really good team. Arizona's defense was legit. They don't have real weaknesses. I'm more with JD there. I mean, got to work on the last plays of the game, sure. But if you're going to keep letting games come down to the last play, you've had a couple, and one time you hit a shot and one time you didn't. To your point, the shot selection probably played a major role in both of those. But honestly, you're too talented to be down by 19 or 20 points. And I forget what the margin was against Clemson, but they were down big. And that was a dramatic rally. And they're down 19 in this one. You shouldn't be down by that much. That's where you gotta look at stuff. And there are calls that go for you and there are calls that go against you. That's not really the thing either. You're inbounding the ball, and they're not in any organized pressure. They're just one guy looming, just kind of hanging around, seeing if he can. You can't cough the ball up in that. You got to be locked in more than that. You're Jersey king of mental toughness.
Okay, then don't have 2 lane violations either.
There's another good one. Just giving free throws away. Simple, really straightforward. And you can probably break down some of the fouls and some of the turnovers again and just say you're not locked in. You got to be dialed in.
Okay, was Arizona not locked in then when the lead evaporates? I mean, isn't that just the nature of the game? There's runs in basketball.
There are definitely runs in basketball, and I do think it's a little bit of the nature of the game. To your point, hey, a lot of these Arizona guys haven't played in front of crowds and these kind of stakes on ESPN and all that. Did they think with 10 minutes or with 1 minute left and a 10-point lead, did they think the game was over? Yeah, I think they probably did. I think that played into it. Then they were able to make a play at the end of the game and win.
You get a little touch foul on the inbound, and the referee puts on a dramatic show as if he's on stage.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that coming up in a future segment. We've got comments about the refereeing.
That was beautiful to see. I'm not just going to call an offensive foul. I'm going to have all these gyrations and emotions.
I know.
And the whole spotlight is going to be on me as I make this call. And I'm going to make it so I get cheered.
Number one, you don't make that call in a full building against the home team for the road team.
Right.
And number two, if you do make a call that's, more clear, you don't sell it like that. Like you might call a foul at the end of the game that makes the whole crowd mad, but you don't sell it like you blow the whistle, you raise the arm, you point at the guy and you hustle over the table. But you're stamping the foot on the floor and winding up the elbow.
He's practiced that in the mirror.
Oh, so I had a friend in college who lived across the hall, Ken Gilio, and he refereed intramural basketball games. And when he came back, and you have to ref like 4 games in a night, right? And you get your $25 or whatever you got, I don't know. And he'd come back, and the first question was always, you tee anybody up? You really sell it? And he'd tell me about it. Absolutely. And it's like, what lower level is there than refereeing, intramural basketball for a bunch of guys who played in high school and are sorry it's all over? But that was what we talked about 9 times out of 10. I got 2 of them tonight.
I think the good thing here is Kevin Young is going through a lot of first-time experiences. He hasn't been a head coach at this level, right? And he's going to develop himself and his proficiency. The game never rested on his shoulders from the coaching standpoint. And I don't care. He could have been an assistant coach in the NBA 100 years. It doesn't matter.
It's different.
Yes. And so he's going to learn from this. And I believe in Kevin Young's ability to coach basketball. So the whole goal here of this team is not to be playing your best basketball on January 26th. It is to progress. And I think he has the ability to get this team to be better. So we still have 6 weeks to go. And when we get to that 6 weeks, at that point, the team is playing its best basketball. Yep. So let Kevin Young and his 42 assistants do their thing. And they've got deficiencies, but it's up to the coaches, and particularly Kevin Young, because he puts the roster together to make sure that they can overcome them and masquerade some of those problems.
Mask them and minimize them.
Yes.
And there is a problem here. I mean, Philip, look at this. We have to get to this in after
that's
the
a
guest.
book.
You know what, though? he's not wrong. This dude's all in on BYU basketball, and you'll like his take because his take has very little whining in it. There's very little complaining. He's like, this is the problem. So we'll get to that coming up at 8:30. Coming up next, always entertaining, Mike Folta joins us, radio play-by-play voice of the Utah Mammoth, coming off a 2-0 loss last night, and they got to play again tonight. Mike's next. Stay with us.